Back to you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Dara, I mean, Nick W., just pure class. Yeah, if there was the definition of class well, there is the definition of class in the dictionary. Your picture would be most definitely beside it. So there you go.
Nice.
Some good stuff here going on this morning. Man, Obi, IBIT, slightly frustrating because it started to get the ball rolling, but let's just talk about risk to rewards here real quick before I send it off to you, and then we got a little bit of a lesson to hop in. But I went 0 for 3 on IBIT here, and then it eventually did the move that I was looking for, up 2.5%, and I'm like, that's slightly frustrating. Added heavy right here, got stopped out. It went again, got stopped out. Tried it for a third time, got stopped out. I said, okay, that's my 3-strike rule. It's like going to the batter's plate. You're out of there, all right? So then we had NVDA this morning. I'm like, okay, let's see if we break down. Didn't love the breakdown. I stop out right away. So I'm 0 for 4. Not a good start. I'm like, okay, let's just keep our cool. Everybody stay patient. And then that's it. We wait. We put in this trade here on TSLL, the 2x leverage here. And that's what I started 0 for 4. I went 1 for 5 on the day. Right, 20% accuracy, and you're essentially still flat on the day. So there you go. A 20% accuracy, Obi, can keep you flat on the day when you have a rough start. And that's what you want to do. I was risking about 7 cents on this trade and hit a really, really nice one all the way up to 10.50. And we're going to wait for this next fill here at 10.55. What'd you trade today, my friend?
Those are some solid trades there. Beautiful entry there on Tesla. I was not necessarily at my desk, but I did trade Tesla there earlier on in the morning session. So we can take a look at that here. Go down to the 1-minute chart because I was making decisions pretty quickly. And I didn't really, I know I missed the short off of the open. This 268 short was absolutely beautiful. And by the time I hesitated, it was down to 266s. And I was like, oh, do I really want to risk up to 268 halves there on this move? Not really. So I started to kind of, get a little cheeky with it. Very lightly, I start to dabble into it. I'm like, I know this is probably gonna go against me a little bit here. So dabble into it. It pukes, and I'm like, oh boy. So these initial 2 entries definitely can be stopped out a little earlier. 263s maybe even. Like we're not really holding VWAP. So like, all right. So sure, and trying some bids here is okay, but getting out aptly is even better. But here we finally kind of catch the slowdown, catch the right side of the V. I actually did well to get aggressive when that bid does come in for that reversion to the mean, and a little mean it was, as it did kind of chop up, make that higher low. And I know you took this one, beautiful little bit of a trend break. That bid kind of holds 260s, and then we're off to the races here. 267s breakout right here. You can see that volume coming in with that breakout of high a day here on Tesla. Not just Tesla, the rest of this market, Joe, is absolutely crazy to the upside. And I got eyes on a wild runner today. I don't know if you've been watching this one here. Definitely maxing out on this price action is this Newsmax here on the day. I was looking at this yesterday, and we were talking about this as well, and it was holding going into the close. And I'm like, yo, this can clip 150s, 140s if this holds and continues to go here. Doesn't really say the share float, but definitely a little cornered, a little trappy here, and pushing all the way up to 193.74. So definitely have eyes on this one. I think we looked at borrows. Borrows were like $65 a lot, which is pretty pricey, but definitely it seems like if you're on the right side, more than worth the expense. That's the thing. Sometimes when those borrows get really pricey, maybe something juicy might be on the table on the day. So.
100. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. What a beautiful.
Yeah. Like you said, this guy called it yesterday. He's like, watch, this thing's gonna go to 100, and then essentially doubled from there. I'm like, oh my days, man. Imagine just putting. So if you were that lucky individual who put $1,000 at 14.
Yeah, maybe. On the IPO, off the
IPO.
Yeah.
Like, dang, let me put $1,000 notionally even.
I was telling Joe, I was like, when you get margin called a couple times, you get squeezed out.
Oh, yeah,
which charts absolutely not to touch as a short. And yesterday that ticker was definitely one of them. So I was like, all right, you would definitely don't want to touch, and a little bit of a squeeze action happening on the day today. So
yeah, Hunter Harvey, anything is possible, my friend. That's for sure. Anything is possible. But all right, let's get right into this lesson here, guys. We're going to dive into it. I know we're starting to this market is moving, so we want to get through this, learn a little something new. I'm in some Amazon calls. Those are printing. I got filled earlier this morning. We're happy about that. But let's get right into this. Let's get right into this lesson because we want to get right back into the markets. Maybe we'll do half and then another half slightly later. We are posted up on TSLL, so I may as well pull that up here on my secondary to see if we're going to get that fill. All right, guys, this is what we're going to be going over today: pre-market preparation, trade criteria, and data collection. Very important. Obi does it every morning. He loves taking the train in and in the bus in because he has the ability for an hour plus to just do his analysis, etc. So that's why we like to arrive early and then get prepared. If you think that you're going to just roll out of bed and start trading, then you're going to be in for a tough time. And I'm pretty sure Obi can agree with me on that one. So, all right, guys, creating a day trading playbook is like crafting your own personalized roadmap to navigate the financial markets. Numerous of successful traders credit their success to hard work and a defined trading playbook. Pre-market preparation, detailed trading criteria, and consistent data collection are key criteria to the success of numerous amounts of traders, including the individual to the right of me. Pre-market preparation, starting your trading day the right way, is going to be a key factor in your session success. Proper and consistent preparation is important. Checking daily news, sentiment on social media, as well as what in the equities market seems to be catching the public's eye. So when you see high R-vol in the morning and you see high volume and then you have multiple catalysts, all right? So when you run your scanners, you'll be able to identify this. Keep an eye on upgrades, downgrades, as Adara does, and headlines that could affect an individual stock and even the broader market. Check daily macroeconomic data points and earnings during and out of season, okay? So this is just some basic stuff. This is a weekly chart here of what is going on from a macroeconomic standpoint. So there you go. You have the weekend. You just scan through it. Okay. So at what time is what coming out? So you can see at 10 a.m. on the Friday here, you have consumer sentiment. It's like, okay, I'm in a position. Let me be a little bit weary here because consumer sentiment coming out at 10 a.m. I don't want to get caught in any volatility onslaught. All right. And hopefully if you're on the right side of the trade, you can get that positive pop, but just be prepared. Make sure you have those stops and plates, etc. And the same thing if you're trading in the pre-market. It's like, okay, initial jobless claims, that tends to move the market as well. So just make sure that you're prepared because you know you can't have those stop orders in the pre and post market. All right. So trade criteria and stock selection are key factors in consistent trading success. Being in the right stock with your trading parameters will help increase your day-to-day success. That may sound very simplistic and obvious. Of course, you want to be in the right stock, but that's why you want to do your morning analysis to make sure that the stocks that you are picking fit the criteria with your past success, all right? So you're like, okay, if stocks gap down in the morning, I'm not that good at it. Let me find something that is more stagnant and hasn't necessarily moved. Or if something gaps down, okay, I'm good at stocks that gap down and then look to recover part of that gap. That is key, and this is what you want to document. Stock screeners are a great trading tool that allow you to filter through the markets and find in-play stocks that fit your playbook's trading metrics. All right. So analyze current technical level, mark out key support and resistance levels for your in-play stocks, establish potential trade scenarios, breakups, breakdowns, reversals, and continuation, and obviously define your risk as well too. So make sure you know how much you're going to be risking per trade. All right, so this is just a basic stock scanner right here. So what is the criteria? Okay, we want anything higher than $13. Anything lower than $1,000. Now you can definitely bring that significantly lower. I like to probably put around 300 here and about $10 here. Volume filter, the lowest we're going to accept is 900,000 shares, and the most we're going to accept is infinite. We don't care. We want as many shares as possible. That means a lot of traders, individuals, retail, hedge funds, and all the firms are looking at that specific stock, okay? So there you go, collecting data. We're going to stop here because the market is really moving here, guys, and I want us to cover that here. So we're going to stop at collecting data, and once things start to cool off, we're going to hop right back into the lesson. So if you have any questions, be sure to put them in the chat, and let's go over some stocks. We just caught another fill here on Tesla as we climb higher to 1055. We don't have too many more outs, but it is working really, really good. Gorev, my guy, check this out. Before I send it back to you, Obi, real quick, Gorev, check this out. So I got stopped out of my my ratio spread yesterday on Amazon. Okay, so then I post up an order this morning. Actually, I created the order last night. I get filled at 177. I'm just straight out flat bought these calls on Amazon. They're 195. They're 195s, I believe. So I bought them out of the money. So, but I got filled at 187 roughly, and then now we're trading at 192. Going to tap into 193. Those calls are printing on Amazon there, folks. Obi, what do you got going on?
Nothing much, man. I'm just kind of watching this market. This Tesla's really pushing up here into 275. Let's see when this bid will stop. Right after we're back from Madeira.
We actually have some comments coming through right now from Mark Carney, Prime Minister of Canada, saying that Canada is going to be, quote, very deliberate in terms of its measures it takes to fight for the country, just with regards to tariffs. But the real reason I wanted to go here is today's lesson for the midday is about finding these scanners, being aware of what's happening in the week. Well, guess what? We actually have a feature for that on TTV Research. This is the X account that we have. I run it and update it every single day. So this is our weekly calendar here. I post these usually every Friday or on Monday morning. And then we have our daily calendars. These usually come out in the afternoon, usually around power hour for the day before. So as you can see today, we're watching out for Credo and Cisco attending the OFC 2025 conference. QBTS is still hosting its Qubits 2025 conference as well. So lots of updates on watch. You can check this out every single day on X at TTV Research, a daily and a weekly calendar to help with your playbook needs. Back to you.
Madeira.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I'm just waiting here, watching this this Tesla. I know Joe's involved in this one here as well. I think it's very strong to the upside. Let's see if we can get that 275. But you guys know what I'm looking for. I missed the long. The long was exactly where I think Joe had a sniper entry on that one. So shout out to Joe for that beautiful entry there on that Tesla breakout move when it does break that trend. So I think that if I don't have that and I don't have the breakout entry, and then I'm just patiently waiting. I missed those trades there. I'm sure we can get that continuation, but this market is hella strong right now. And I got eyes on NVIDIA as well as some of these Mag 7s. Let me know if you guys are in any long Spider as well. Definitely keeping an eye on that one. 261.30s as of right now. And very strong here is Apple as well. Apple is the only one though right now, Joe, that hasn't really broken its high a day just yet. Everything else has. I got eyes on J&J as well. That one, but with a bit of news this morning. If you guys were watching the morning session there, I think they had something with their lawsuit settlement proposal. But they gapped down. Basically, I was just like, all right, gap down on news, doing some relative volume, eyes on J&J for continuation. And continuation, it's been doing pretty well here. Apple as well. So this is what I'm talking about. Not yet at its high a day. 223.38 is the high. Currently trading at 23.21s, 28s as of right now. So only about 10 pennies away with that one there. So poised for high day as the NASDAQ here closes into that 19,600 mark. Where is the next trade, Joe? That's what I'm asking. And I don't really see it just yet, but patiently waiting. If and when this bid does dissipate, I do want to try to figure out what the best vehicle is to get involved with. But again, I'm finding that being a little patient goes a long way, especially in this market where, you know, things can get very directional. They can keep on going. They'll consolidate. Something else as well. Like I'm learning. I'm picking up on different kinds of consolidation. So if the price will consolidate all over the place, right? It's like how that consolidation builds up relative to where it's happening. I think it's starting to give me some more information. And that's something that I've been kind of working on in this consolidation here on Tesla. I was like, I was looking at it right here, 272s, 273s. I'm like, all right, well, do I really want to short this? No, this is likely to continue at least to the 275 level here, and 275 is coming in here. Let's see what we do with that 19.6. Again, $100 kind of mark there on the futures there on the NASDAQ. Coming in pretty hot. I don't really have anything else on watch, so let me know what you guys are also watching. I've mentioned a few things that I have had on watch. Let me pull up my Notion here, and I love that you're doing the lesson on the morning prep, because this is kind of what I do in the mornings. Let me just change this from light to dark. Okay, so we can go here. So morning trading plan. So this is what Joe was talking about. Like there are days where I drive in, and those days definitely are distinctly different, I would say, because I think there's a reason to that as well. I think it's because like I've made so many decisions coming into the morning, maybe elevated some cortisol as well. Like my body's already like, okay, we're kind of like, you know, we're doing things are happening. Things might not like, okay, obviously it's not like stressful, but you're making decisions, you're releasing some cortisol. And I kind of what I realize is like protecting that capital for the trading session, it makes a huge difference for me specifically. So it's like taking the transit in the morning definitely gives me time to do that prep. I run through my scans. I have a list of the top constituents of both the NASDAQ and the spider and the NASDAQ there, and also the Dow Jones. So I'll take the top constituents. I'll run through all of them a couple of times there in the morning. Trying to find anything that stands out, anything that's any sort of significance in terms of technicals, in terms of relative volume, in terms of maybe news. And the price action is very telling, right? The price action speaks volumes sometimes. So you can see a chart and it's doing volume. It's like gapping up or gapping down. Maybe it's done a shake and bake, done nothing. You're like, maybe this has some news, so you can delve a little bit deeper into that. But yeah, that morning scan definitely helps and keeping that focus. And then I have about a 25-minute subway ride right to the station down the street. And during that, I just do do meditation in the morning. Nice. Just nice. Eyes closed, kind of visualizing some of the morning plans that I've made. I'm like, okay, if I'm looking to get long on Tesla, I'm visualizing, okay, is it like, what am I looking for? What am I looking for? What do I want to see? How do I want to trade it? It's coming into that VWAP. I visualize that VWAP coming in. I'm seeing the tape slow down. I'm seeing it turn. I'm seeing myself take the position, kind of, you know, just like giving myself a little bit of that preparation. And then coming in, if it happens exactly like that, which almost never. But, you know, if it doesn't happen exactly like that, you're like, oh, I've been here before. I've done it. I've taken this trade. Boom. You feel so much more comfortable taking it. But yeah.
I think that's such an important point there. What Obi you're saying is just the visualization of what you're planning to do, right? It's so key. And I remember, and during earnings season is when I really hone in on this, because you're looking for a surprise, right? And that's what you want to find in stocks. That's what really drives us higher, is surprise. When the street is surprised, it's something positive, and you can see some definitive direction, whether it be a surprise to the downside or to the top side. But just to visualize that is so important, is to come in. And we talked about this before. It's like during hockey or whatever you may be doing, it's just like picture in your head what you're going to do. And I like that Obi pointed out, it's not going to be exactly how you manifested it, but if it comes anywhere relatively close to it, you're like, okay, I've seen this before. And then now you have to act upon that. And that's one thing we can talk about this all day. And when you visualization, then that leads to execution, et cetera, you just keep going down that rabbit hole. But if you visualize what you're going to do and it displays yourself, then it's on you to execute that. And I think that's something that Obi's really, really good at. I mean, guys are really underrated. I wouldn't even say underrated. He's a fantastic trader, in my opinion. And
go as that far as to say that,
but that's the thing, dude. Come on, don't shoot yourself short. You know what I mean? I think you're an individual who is like, I can always do a little bit better. I think that's just the competitive edge within you, and I think that's something that you need. the guy will put up great days, and he's like, okay, but how do I make that better? And that's the mentality I think you need, especially in this game.
No, I just feel comfortable that way. And yeah, I think so. At the end of the day, I like that you related it to sports, because trading definitely is a sport. This is competition. This is it's a very competitive thing, and you're playing on literally one of the most competitive arenas on the face of the earth, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But and yeah, if you're familiar with gaming, this is definitely like certain days, certain tickers, like, is definitely high level ranked. Some of these small caps, I was talking to Sharif, I'm like, yeah, some of those small cap runners, some of them are definitely, like, in my opinion, for relative to my playbook, and relative to what I'm comfortable trading, that's the next level rank for me. And I'm just like, oh boy, like, it's like, I can understand what might be going on there, but I don't know if I want to really put on that kind of risk or learn that kind of game for the long run. But I don't, you know what, I don't know. I'm still very fresh in my journey here, and I'm kind of just riding along on the way,
man. You're just riding the wave, man. You're just riding the trading wave. And but no, I don't know if, like, from friend to friend, I think you're, obviously we're talking on the air too, but I think you're doing a fantastic job. And I think you
as well, man. Like, I'm looking at your trades. You've been improving. Exactly. There's always room for improvement, but you've been getting better. You've been sniping some of those entries there, and solid. I think that's the thing. There always has to be some sort of growth, and you have to be looking at what you want to work on, what you want to improve, because there's always more. And another thing that I learned this past year was, you also have to look at how far you've come, because that will keep you going. You can be like, okay, this is how far we've come, and this is where I started from. So this is all the improvements that I have been making, and that gives you that motivation to continue to go. And then that's a big thing that I learned last year, because I would only focus on, like, okay, how to get better. My self-talk might have been not the best. I think after I read this book called The Gap and the Gain, as well as Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. Both those books, amazing for a little bit of mindset and a little bit of self-talk, and how to kind of improve even faster, right? So it's like, I would focus hard and be extremely hard on myself, of like, okay, yes, I can do this better, and I want to be able to do that better, which is fine. But the way you approach yourself in kind of doing that can make a world of a difference. And yes, looking at how far you've actually come since the beginning, and no matter how small or big those steps are, progress is still progress, and you should definitely acknowledge yourself for that. And I think all of us, some decent progress can always be a little bit better.
Always, man. But that's the name of the game, right? Like, when you want to be the best, and that's the thing. We talk about the high failure rate in trading, and that's what you have to do. You essentially have to be one of the best like the best you can possibly be, and be ready to perform. But we're catching some love in here in the chat. Obi says, bro, love. 2NY, my guy, says, I love it. I agree with both of y'all. Obi is the most patient trader on here, and Joe is very, very technical with his trades. Much appreciated, 2NY. You're an OG. Who is Joe? Yeah, I am Joe, my friend. Joseph, Joe, the same person. But we're going to talk a little bit about origin stories here, Obi. But I want to talk about Amazon here real quick. This thing is absolutely flying. Let's go here in Amazon. Let's see if I can.
Let me know when it's ready for a reverse.
No, we don't want any of that. But we're going to diamond hands this one here, guys, until 200, hopefully, on some of these calls. But that would be absolutely fantastic. And I told Obi, we have a little tradition here.
Yes.
In the summertime, where we go to a local bar and we grab these big, massive towers of margarita. And I said, if it hits 200, the towers are on me. So there you go. Adara's excited for that one. She'll be participating on that and everything along those lines. But back to the origin story. I think it's it might be 2 years ago now, is when I first met Obi at the Money Show. Obi and I had no idea who each other were, through a mutual person who recognized Obi and that I knew from somewhere else, said, hey, yeah, this is an individual. He's on TRADERTV. And then Obi and I just talked for about 5 minutes, not knowing who each other were. And I just asked him a couple questions, and we had a little short conversation. And then I guess here we are now, a couple
Yeah.
years later, and we're not knowing each other, and I can definitely say that you're my friend, and I never ever expected that. So which I think was pretty cool, no?
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, like I met Joe at that conference, and yeah, you were with the
BBT folks.
BB,
folks.
Bear Bull Traders.
Yeah,
Yes. You're with those guys, and yeah, great community there as well. A lot of respect for the Bear Bull Traders as well. But yeah, no, met you at the Money Show, and yeah, didn't expect small world. You're from the area, and I was like, yeah, you should come down to the floor. And a year later, he took that advice, came down, and now part of the floor, part of the show, and trading and getting better. So I think.